Don't listen to Dave Ramsey. He's wrong. Hello and welcome. My name is Peter B. and I welcome you here at My First Million, where we are achieving our financial goals together. I have to admit, the introduction and the title of this video have been quite some clickbait. In honesty, I love Dave Ramsey and many of the principles that he's sharing to his community, and I believe he has helped out thousands or maybe even hundred thousands of people to win financially. However, still, there are two things that I don't agree with Dave Ramsey. The first one is probably a discussion point where you can have one opinion or the other, but the second one, I would say, he's pretty much straight wrong. So let's start with the less severe topic, where you can argue he could be wrong or he might be right, is how you tackle your debt snowball. So he is always recommending to list down all the debt that you're having, smallest to largest, and then just start tackling the smallest one. I think psychologically, and this is why he might still be partially right, psychologically this makes sense. Start with the smallest one, then the next one, so that you see progress. You can check off the boxes one by one, and you see progress much sooner if you pay down the smallest debts first. Other people might recommend you, instead of doing that, list down the highest to lowest interest debt. And then tackle the one with the highest interest rate first. And then the second highest interest rate and third highest interest rate. Because like this, you're paying much less interest fees over time and should get out of debt faster. However, this approach potentially has a psychological problem that it will take you a very long time to finally pay off one debt with the highest interest fee, because it might be potentially the one with the biggest one. What I would be doing, I wouldn't use one or the other way. I wouldn't recommend one way or the other way. I would probably lean towards Dave Ramsey's opinion to go with the smallest debt first, but I would add an additional step prior to that, prior to the list down of debts. I would try to restructure the debt so that maybe the ones with the high interest fees are the smallest ones, and the ones with the lowest interest fees are the biggest chunks, the bigger ones. So it could be if you just have debt in two credit cards. One has a big amount but a high interest fee, and another one has a small amount but a lower interest fee. Try to at least shift one portion from the big credit card debt into the smaller one, as at the smaller one you're paying a lower interest. So this is the first point. I'm not in agreement with Dave Ramsey, but you can argue that his way probably works best psychologically, especially for people who are already in debt. And it might make sense not to complicate things with this additional step before you start tackling your debt. So now to the second part. To the part I completely disagree with Dave Ramsey. He's always recommending to invest into mutual funds. Into, I believe, 3 different kinds of mutual funds. I completely disagree with this approach. Because whatever you're doing with mutual funds, you also can be doing with ETFs or index funds. And they're much cheaper. They have much cheaper annual fees that you need to pay for. The regular ETFs usually have an annual fee of around 0.2% or even less nowadays. Whereas mutual funds charge at least quite significantly above 1%. So at least 5 times more, or even much more than 5 times more than a regular ETF. So 1% more or less maybe doesn't sound as a huge difference. This is maybe you earn a return of 8% or 9%. So you would say this doesn't really is much of a difference. However, if you let the compounding run over a lifetime, this decision will cost you most likely hundreds of thousands of dollars. Only this 1% difference every year compounded will end up in a very huge significant difference. Of course, it depends on the total amount that you invest every year, but it's certainly thousands or even likely to be hundreds of thousands of dollars difference if you are decisive, very good with your financial life. Of course, Dave Ramsey is saying, if you pick the right mutual funds, you will have a better performance. You will be outperforming the regular market, the whole market. And how is he arguing this? He's just saying, look into the past and see what the performance of the mutual fund was in the past. However, there has been many studies on this, and it always shows that past performance of a fund doesn't guarantee you future performance. And most of the time, even though maybe during a period of time a mutual fund is outperforming the market, it could be that on another time it will be underperforming the market and it will get back more to even. Or another reason is sometimes mutual funds are more aggressive in the risks that they are taking and therefore more volatile. And therefore you will have more volatile results in your portfolio when investing into mutual funds. So I'm really not sure why Dave Ramsey continues to promote mutual funds. I think there could be 3 reasons. The first one is maybe the most honest one, that in the past he was just lucky and picked the right mutual funds and was luckily overperforming the market. But as said, studies are showing that this outperformance might not last forever or might not last into the future. Many outperforming stocks over the past decade or so are likely to be underperforming index funds in the future. Then a second reason what could be, but I have never signed up, so I'm not sure if that's really the case. It could be that he's earning a commission or his company is earning a commission every time when they are recommending or selling the mutual funds. Maybe through his programs they are pushing those mutual funds and they're either earning a volume-based commission or in general just like a marketing commission by recommending those mutual funds. But as said, I have no proof of that and I'm not sure if that's really the case. Or a third reason could be his Smart Investor Pro program, where you can sign up and subscribe to and of course need to pay something for the service. And the Smart Investor Pros, I believe they are making recommendations how you should invest your money. And of course they cannot just tell you use the regular common ETFs, which would be the straightforward approach. And everyone could do that by themselves. Of course they need to recommend you something more sophisticated than that. So this could be a third reason why he is sticking to his mutual fund principle. So I'm really not sure what's exactly the reason why he continues to stick on his recommendation. However, I hope with this video I could open your eyes a little bit and reconsider whether his recommendations for investments is really the best. If you're not sure, just do the research by yourself. Look up, study more about ETFs, about index funds, about mutual funds, and make a decision by yourself. The more you learn, the more you will be able to make the decision by yourself. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe Dave Ramsey is wrong. Only the future will tell us. However, in the end, never forget rule number 1 when it comes to investment. Rule number 1 is saying you are the only one who's taking the risks when you are investing your money. What is your take on those 2 topics I covered in today's video? Please share in the comments below. Also, do you have experience in investing into mutual funds or index funds or ETFs? Please also share your experiences in the comments below. I hope we can learn from one another and don't do any mistakes that could be avoidable. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and especially I look forward to seeing you winning financially.